As the COVID-19 crisis has tightened its grip around Vermont and the entire country, public meetings of all kinds were canceled, postponed, or restructured into online remote meetings. Those included local government meetings, like select boards, planning commissions, school boards, and the like. A few weeks into the coronavirus crisis, those boards have by and large now shifted their meetings completely online, like so many other organizations have been forced to. Meeting remotely can create a different dynamic to the traditional version, where everyone is physically present in the same room. One of the first select boards in our area to hold a meeting on Zoom, an online meeting platform that has seen an exponential growth in its use over the past month or so, was the town of Weston's, which met and recorded their meeting of March 24th a few weeks ago. We asked Jim Linville, the vice chairman of the board, and Charles Tim Goodwin to describe the experience of the different format.
I got to say, the meeting went uh, better than I expected it to, and Tim is absolutely right. It went faster, and if you think that's a good thing, that was a definite outcome.
I guess I was just wondering, the opportunity for the public to kind of be involved is still there, but different. I mean, if we go on for another month or so, whatever, with remote meetings, is there a way you see the public sort of logging into the meeting and taking part, or is it going to be less interaction with the public than you'd normally have at a meeting, at the town hall?
Jim, I'll take a crack at that because of the church services. Because yesterday at a church service, we had 43 people. And I think, the town has a website. We have one person who's a regular public attendee of our meetings. And we know who he is, and we give him a phone number. I think he's had a phone number and hadn't used it yet, but that doesn't mean he wouldn't. I don't think we'd want to put a password. Certainly wouldn't want to put a password on the town website, but on the other hand, we could invite people to send an email to the town clerk, so the town clerk, who, as Jim noted, is also now working part-time as the select board administrative assistant, send their emails to her, and I think they could attend a meeting just as people did a church service yesterday, couldn't they, Jim?
Either the Zoom address or a phone number that people could call to get into the meeting. That was in the warning of the meeting, and I actually called the person that Tim was talking about, and explained how the Zoom meeting was going to work, and that he could call in, and he chose not to, but was not. I don't think he felt like he was being excluded at all. He did have some concern about the open meeting law, and we did too. But in situations like this, I don't know exactly how to put it, but I think we're a little bit in Good Samaritan law territory here. We're just bumbling around doing the best we can in a situation where we have conflicting imperatives. On the one hand, we're supposed to have open meetings that everybody, in a physical location where everybody can show up. On the other hand, we have sheltering in place guidelines or rules or laws, depending on how you interpret this stuff. And a lot of the stuff is contradictory. And so you're left simply doing the best you can.
While Zoom or other online platforms may be adequate substitutes while social distancing and other measures designed to combat the spread of the coronavirus need to be in place, there are issues presented around open meeting laws, cybersecurity, especially on Zoom, which has drawn concerns for a loophole that potentially enables people to crash or Zoom bomb the meeting, as happened recently in Montpelier, when a meeting of the Senate Agricultural Committee had to be aborted. Archiving those meetings for future historical reference is also a concern. So we talked with Karen Horn, the Vermont League of Cities and Towns Director of Public Policy and Advocacy, about those concerns to see what their takeaway was.
The League of Cities and Towns just put up on our COVID-19 webpage a remote meeting guidance. So you can go there. We're at vlct.org, and there's a COVID-19 page. And then if you click on that, there are really a slew of different topics that we're discussing in the context of COVID-19, frequently asked questions and recommendations.
So the meetings have to be recorded and archived then, so if someone from the public wants to watch.
Well, you know, that's really interesting because it doesn't speak to archiving, it speaks to recording. And but what the town is required to do is record it. So I think what you find with a lot of the legislation that's happening right now is that people wanted to get the authority out there to continue to function, but there hasn't been a whole lot of time to sort of look at the details, you know. I do know that at the legislature, after they had that episode with Senate Agriculture, they actually locked down their meetings. And so if you were being called to testify to the remote meeting, you had to tell them, okay, I'm ready to come in now. And they would unlock it, let you in, and then I believe lock it down again. I'm not an IT person, so I don't know all the details of that. But yeah, it's definitely an issue, and cybersecurity was really an issue for local officials even before this. It was something that was being talked about in the legislature and at the local level. What can we do to protect towns from, you know, phishing and all of those kinds of things?
We also recorded an interview with James Condos, Vermont's Secretary of State, on what he viewed as the issues he had with migrating, for the short term at least, public meetings online. We'll be presenting that discussion separately, so stay tuned for that. For now, and for the GNAT-TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.